Children, now when we have understood what's the basic definition of quadratic equation, let's proceed further to know whether the given equation or equations given to us are quadratic equations or not. Once again, let's refresh. What equation can be termed as a quadratic equation? Any equation which has the highest degree of the variable happens to be 2, or any equation which has the highest degree 2 will be termed as quadratic equation. So what's our next article is, the next topic is saying to identify whether a given equation as a quadratic equation or not. So the first sum says 3x square plus 2x plus 9 equals to x square minus 5x plus 6. So what is the standard form of quadratic equation? Ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So all the equations given to us, whenever we are being asked to find out whether the given equation is a quadratic or not, the very first thing is what we need to do is we need to convert in the standard form. And what is the standard form? Ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. So bring all this on one side, make it equal to 0 expression or equation. So it is 3x square plus x square when comes over here becomes minus x square, plus 2x minus 5x when comes over here becomes plus 5x, plus 9 plus 6 when comes over here becomes minus 6 equals to 0. So I have 3x square minus x square, which is 2x square, plus 2x plus 5x, which is plus 7x, plus 9 minus 3 is plus 3 equals to 0. Children, can you tell me, is it a quadratic or not? Indeed, there are answers coming that yes, it is a quadratic equation. Why? Because the highest degree is 2. Highest degree of the equation is 2. So we'll say since the highest degree is 2, if you want to write down the reason, you can write down the reason, or else you can directly say it's a quadratic equation. I shall write down once over here, since the highest degree of the variable is 2, therefore the equation is a quadratic equation. Therefore, the equation is a quadratic equation. Now, children, let's see what is the next sum trying to say. The next sum given to us is p cube minus 2p square plus 6p minus 12 equals to 0. Now, since already it is in equal to 0 format and there are students who must have gauged the answer by this time, sir, the highest degree over here is 3, right? So is it a quadratic equation or it's not a quadratic equation? It is indeed not a quadratic equation. We simply write down since the highest degree of the equation is 3. You can write down is not 2, or you can write down the actual degree. The highest degree of the equation is 3. Therefore, the given equation is not a quadratic equation. The given equation is not the quadratic equation. Children, let's move further. What do you think so about this one? 3y plus 1 by y equals to 2. 3y plus 1 by y equals to 2. Yes, for the first time we are having a variable in the denominator, right? So let's solve sums of this nature. Is this in the standard form, that is equal to 0 format? No, it is not. So first try and bring this in the standard form. Children, since we have y in the denominator, we are going to multiply throughout by y. Multiply throughout by y, or you can say multiply by y on both the sides. Every single term needs to get multiplied with y. So if I multiply this by y, this will be 3y square. When I multiply this by y, this y and this y will get cancelled off. So I am left with only plus 1. And when I multiply this by y, I am left with plus 2y. Bring on one side so as to get an equal to 0 format. 3y square, this one comes over here, is minus 2y plus 1 equals to 0. Children, what is the highest degree? What is the highest degree? The highest degree is 2. It is a quadratic equation. I will not write down now the highest degree. I shall simply say it is a quadratic equation. It is a quadratic equation. Children, let's focus on the next one. Now, what is the next one given to us? 5x square equals to 3. What can you say first thing we are supposed to do? The very first thing is try to bring in the standard form equal to 0 format. So if I say 5x square, this 3 when comes over here, minus 3 equals to 0. Now I want my children to recollect, refresh your concepts. What type of equation this is? Is it a quadratic? Very first question. Is it? Yes, indeed it's a quadratic equation. Why? Because the highest degree of the equation is 2. Now if anybody want to say further what type of quadratic equation this is a pure quadratic equation. We have seen in the definition of quadratic equation what are pure quadratic equations and what are adfacted quadratic equation. So this is nothing but a pure quadratic equation. I'll just write down it is a quadratic. It is an quadratic equation. Only for your knowledge, I shall write down what type of quadratic equation this is. It's a pure quadratic equation. Only for your basic knowledge. Need not write down this as an answer. Mind you, whenever it is being asked whether it's a quadratic equation or not, you're not supposed to write down what type it belongs to. It's only for your knowledge since we have learnt the basics. Let's see the final one. Come on. Is it equal to 0 format? No. Bring it. 2m square minus 4m equals to 0. Is it? It is. And by this time even the answer must have come. What is it? It's an adfacted quadratic equation. C is 0. Pure quadratic equation. B is 0. C is 0. Adfacted quadratic equation. We shall write down it is a quadratic equation. It is an quadratic equation. For your reference, what type of quadratic equation this is? For your reference, what type of quadratic equation this is? This is an adfacted quadratic equation. This is an adfacted quadratic equation. So I hope my children are very much thorough if given to us to identify which of them are quadratic equation.